Ha Satan in Killeen.
Yes.
Hi.
Hey, how you guys doing?
I am wondering about this call. Why? Is it Hail Satan or Ha Satan? What's the
Ha
pseudonym?
Satan.
Ha Satan. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, in Hebrew, it's a Jewish term meaning the accuser.
Oh, so are you here to accuse us?
Of course, I'm here to accuse you.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay. Well, lay it on us.
Okay, no problem. Well, first of all, I'd like to start by saying I want to prove that God is real.
Perfect.
And
You called the right show.
We've been waiting for this day.
oh, I know you've been waiting, and I got you. You know I got you, right?
Cool. Let's do it.
Okay. Now, first of all, when we look at Kim Jong-un, right, and his father and their lineage, do you know people in Korea believe that that man is a god, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I heard your show about by definition, but I just want to say, by definition, Kim Jong-un is a god. So I've heard you, and on some of your other shows, you've proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that you guys believe that we're not the only thing here on Earth. We believe that there's other existence of other beings outside of our solar system.
Ha-Satan.
Do you agree?
Well, no, you're going to have to walk us through that because I'm nowhere near there, man.
What exactly did we agree to again?
Yeah, just because we believe that someone can define a God into existence doesn't mean that we agree that there's one that would...
No, I'm saying, do you believe that there are other beings outside of our solar system that exist?
I think that statistically, I understand that it's likely.
Beings is a weird word for
that's
it.
good enough.
Okay.
Like alien life, that they're, the whole...
Yeah, intelligent beings outside of Earth. Do you agree?
I think there's a likelihood to it.
Okay, there's a likelihood to it. So if we have biblical text that speaks of individuals coming from, quote unquote, the heavens that had superior technology and superior knowledge, it's not a far stretch for individuals to believe that these individuals were gods. They just called them gods because of their high technology.
Okay.
Oh, you called about ancient aliens. Ha-Satan, you have made my day. So first off, let's talk about the biblical
we don't
text.
want to write it off as ancient aliens.
Wait,
that's not it?
Well, no, we don't want to write it off as ancient aliens because the context is God. I just want to stick with God. I just want to prove that God can be anything to anyone. Jim Jones was a god. Farrakhan is a god to some people.
So
you know what I'm saying, I just think it's a little bit. I just think it's a little bit arrogant for atheists. It's like you beating up on your little brothers and little sisters who are not as intelligent as you, because I assume that you think you're more intelligent than me.
Not remotely.
Nope.
No. In fact, we have this show
Really?
because we're confident that there are people who are watching this who are very intelligent. No, oh gosh, that's really condescending. No,
not at all.
No. You come off the way y'all critique individuals who actually, it's like seeing somebody who's developmentally disabled who believes that they're Superman, and because he believes he's Superman, he's not going to go around beating up other people, right?
Wait.
And you say, you're not Superman, face reality.
Ha-Satan.
Are you calling theists mentally unstable?
Yes, I am a theist.
But wait.
Yeah, and sorry.
No.
We need to find a different way to describe this. I've worked in special ed for years.
That's not.
And that is really, really upsetting for reasons that are entirely different from this conversation.
Really?
Yeah, but that said, Ha-Satan,
Yeah.
let's start building a bit of a foundation here, okay? So tell me if you agree with this. When you talk about any of these conversations, the person you are speaking to needs to be respected, but the idea that you're speaking about does not.
I disagree for one reason.
Why?
Because when you realize that these individuals who are being subjected to cognitive dissonance, right? Any individual that can be subjected to cognitive dissonance might need that serotonin. They might need that activation of their frontal lobe through religion, or otherwise they may create or do heinous crimes.
Do I do heinous crimes? Does
No,
he do
you
heinous
don't.
crimes?
But it's so self-centered for you to look at someone else who may need religion to not go out and do the things that you wouldn't do.
See, and I actually view
Religion
this
might be a benefit for them.
And I actually feel the exact opposite way. That's interesting. I think this is going to be a hard disagree, Hasatan, because...
Really?
Well, and I'll tell you why, man. It's because what you have done is written off a massive amount of people from deciding that they have earned the right to explore the world around them. No, we'll just condescend and they can believe whatever they want to believe because we're just so smart. That's incredibly condescending and toxic. It's something that I would not advise anyone to do. And as a believer, I want to give you more credit. I want to say, Hasatan, whatever, you've got, it's not because you think that you can't understand a thing. And to say that there's only happiness in religion, there's happiness outside of it. I live the most fulfilled life I can. And I don't believe, and I'm surrounded by people because I'm in an amazing community of people who are doing exactly the same thing. So why would that be the sole purview of religion? I'm sorry, but as you're saying this, I'm just disagreeing point by point by point. Because I think that we should have a conversation.
Disagreeing doesn't mean that you have a valid point, because what I just asked you earlier is it a fact that if the person was developmentally disabled, would you sit there and argue with the individual about them not being Superman? You would not argue with them being Superman. And I'm saying with your level of intelligence now, which you guys should upstep it a little bit more, you shouldn't be arguing with people who believe in God. It's crazy.
No.
You don't believe in God. That's good for you.
No, you meet them where they're at.
Somebody who's less intelligent than you.
I believed in God. Eric did too.
And there are tons of intelligent people who believe in God.
Right. It has nothing to do with intelligence.
Okay, what about this? Let's change this up for a second. Do we agree?
I'm still wondering how ancient aliens fit into all of this.
Oh my gosh,
Okay,
yeah, no. Can we go back? Let's pull that pin.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go back to the ancient aliens?
Oh,
yes.
Desperately.
Okay, I didn't say the word ancient aliens, you did, but what I was trying to make a point is we all agree that there's a possibility that there are individuals or entities of high intelligence or of intelligence that live outside of the earth. And it's childish for us to think that we're the only thing in our solar system that have intelligence. We all agreed. I've heard your boss, I can't remember the guy's name, but the leader of your show, he said that a million times. So I'm saying these guys can... Huh?
I'm the leader of my show. Hi.
I'm sorry. It was another show that you guys are affiliated with.
That's our sister show, The Atheist Experience. You're talking about Matt Dillahunty.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
This is my show.
I apologize. I don't mean to insult
No worries.
your leadership.
Well, I don't care. It's funny because I get that a lot.
But the point that I'm making, I heard on both of your shows, you talk about the existence of entities of intelligence outside of Earth's atmosphere. Though you've never shook their hand, you believe in them just like a Christian believes in God.
No.
You believe in it?
No. So,
you don't?
I've been talking over. Go ahead.
Okay. So, first, I just want to point out that you've consistently gotten closer and closer to Earth as you're talking about this. First, it was outside of our solar system, and then it was our solar system, and now it's beyond Earth's atmosphere. So those are three completely different things. So.
Oh wow, that's semantics. That's potato. Come on.
No, it's not, because I don't believe in intelligent beings just outside of Earth's atmosphere. That has been proven not to be the case.
But you believe outside of Earth's solar system? No.
I think that there is a likelihood that there are other forms of life out there on other planets that can support said life. I don't know what form they take. They might be intelligent. It might be more of a bacteria situation, depending on where evolution takes them. But the point there is that all that is us acknowledging that natural causes that happened here on Earth could potentially happen elsewhere. There's nothing supernatural about talking about aliens.
Wow. So let's just talk about aliens then, because aliens could be gods.
No. Well, actually, if you define them that way, I just don't find that as a useful definition.
Okay, so it's a matter of definition.
Yeah, because if you gave a absolutely pointless, useless definition, right? If I held up my coffee mug, I think I used that as an example before, or I bring up the Book of Eric, right? And I say, well, I'm complicating this more than I need to.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
No, look, you can define God however you want. Whether or not I believe in your definition of what God is remains to be seen.
Yeah.
So why don't we start? Why don't we do that instead of assuming that you think we know what your definition of God is and we think that we know what yours is? Tell me what your definition of God is, and I will tell you whether or not I believe in it.
Okay.
So what's your definition?
My definition of God is when an individual has a high reverence for an individual outside of any reference, any individual that you have a high reference for outside of yourself. And even to the point where your reverence for this individual produces serotonin in your frontal lobe. And I mean, that's what usually gets you addicted to the individual. See, religion in itself, the serotonin, this is why people are able to get off drugs. This is why people are able to stop their sexual acts, because they give up one drug and they get a new drug called religion. So I'm saying, is it so bad that a person leave heroin or leave prostitution or leave gang violence alone and they get into the church and believe in God and they replace heroin and crack with serotonin?
Wait, where did the definition of God go? I'm very confused.
It's in the same context. When you believe in God, which is something that will cause you to produce serotonin in your frontal lobe, when you believe in God, you become a better person.
Okay, so God is something that produces serotonin in our frontal lobes.
That is correct.
That is what you consider to be God.
The greatest point of God, on the most scientific level, we're talking about a more biological level,
I literally have medication that is God.
Who knew?
But there you go. And this is why some people are addicted to drugs and are addicted to
no, it's because I'm
medication.
No, it's because I have clinical depression.
You can get that same thing from a preacher.
Fuck that.
No.
Whoa.
You can get the same thing from a good Christian song.
No, you could not.
Feel good too.
Really? Could I go in and regrow a limb?
Could you go? You can't do that with a pill.
No. But you're saying that you can fix something that requires medication. So if I have somebody who has diabetes, could they just walk into any church and get that serotonin and all of a sudden not have to take their insulin?
Serotonin does not fix diabetes.
Exactly. And in the same way, you should not be advocating that people should, instead of getting their medications, go to a church. That is incredibly dangerous and leads to incredibly dangerous results.
I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying if a person is... You misunderstood me, and I don't want to be misunderstood. We're talking about the difference between a person who wants to commit suicide. That person can be put on medication, and then the same person can go to church. And we've actually seen it where somebody go to church and they don't commit suicide because they have an overwhelming spiritual experience.
I believe this is the most condescending conversation I've had across many levels.
Oh, really?
Really? Hasatan, please go back and listen to this conversation, because what you've done is found reasons to dismiss people and the trials that they've gone through, the incredible amount of pain and growth that people work through to make their lives better. To sum them up in that way, I think entirely dismisses the human that did it. And I think that is really sad. Yes, absolutely. But Hasatan?
So could you answer me one question then? Why is it that most atheists, and this is a fact, most atheists are suicidal?
Where did you get that information, Hasatan?
Most atheists,
Is
when
it
you
because I
don't
talk
believe
about
in a
depression?
God, you don't believe in a hell, and you don't believe in that stuff. You don't believe if you want to die, you want to die. I've talked to a lot of atheists that say, hey, man, we don't give a fuck. You know, we want to die. I mean, excuse my French. I apologize about that.
I said
But
fuck
you
about
don't
2
give a
minutes ago.
crap whether you live or die. Most atheists are suicidal.
Or if you think that if there is no difference between being suicidal and not caring about what happens after death, then you do not have friends who struggle with that and are not qualified to speak about it.
Oh, well, that's the problem then. I've had friends who claim to be atheists, a lot of them, and they don't care about what happens after they die.
Yeah, that's different than being suicidal.
Different. That's a different thing entirely.
It's different, but at the same time, they say, hey, if I'm in the hospital and I get this incident happen to me, pull the plug on me, don't fight for me and stuff like that. I want out of here.
That also doesn't make you suicidal. That means that person may not want to suffer. And if they are facing a life of suffering, they're saying, you know what, I'm cool. No worries. Let me go.
Wow, out of all the conversation, you got me on the suicidal thing. That's about it, though.
Well, I hope that you can go back and listen in, and I know that we're going to do the same.
Yep.
Check it out, and definitely in your day-to-day life, please do not make medical claims unless you are educated in that, or are a doctor, or can point people to a resource with that, because it can be really damaging.
Before I go, could you please tell me what medical claim that I made, just so I can understand?
So you talked about people being able to go into a church and have their depression cured.
No. People being able to go into church and have their depression dealt with therapeutically. It's a case-by-case basis where you go in on a regular basis and you get weekly injections of serotonin from the church choir singing, from them talking about God and all of that good stuff.
But
it makes you feel better.
Couldn't you get that from...
That helps.
Couldn't you get that from stamp collecting or any other hobby that somebody really likes that people build communities around?
Not as profound as music and what it does to the soul, and not as profound as what a preacher yelling at you about condemnation and all that stuff. See, you're talking about doing it with appeal. And I'm saying that's just as dangerous, because it's been proven a lot of people get on the pill, becomes more suicidal.
Okay, so there's another medical claim that you've just made.
You said it's been proven that that's the case. There
are a lot of pills that come out today on the commercials that say may cause feelings of suicide.
So
depression drugs cause you to feel like you want to commit suicide. That's a fact.
Right, and those pills aren't being given to people who are suicidal, right?
Oh, yes, they are.
Okay, well, you should do some more research and drop into the Discord or call again.
And I've taken so many drugs and so many different medications to stop suicidal behavior. And, in the drug itself, it tells you that there's a possibility it could make you want to commit suicide.
You know what? Honestly, I think this is a conversation that needs to be had with the doctor. It's starting to move into a place. No. I mean it.
Okay.
No,
that's really good, though.
Yeah,
I'll listen back at the show, like you said, but you got a good point.
And I'm not going to start walking into a territory that I'm not, that I don't feel educated enough in to make a...
No, I'm crazy. I'm uneducated. It's okay, but you know what? Somebody who's listening to this is going to get it. You guys are arrogant, and y'all need to stop beating up on people who use religion to get over some of their problems. There's nothing wrong with you helping those who reach out to you, but when they call in who are confused, religion might be something that's good for them. I like your show, though, and I'll continue to be a listener. You have a nice day.
You too. And I agree that it is very arrogant to write off people who are using religion because it feels good. I absolutely agree that is a very arrogant action to take.
I got whiplash. I'm sorry. And
I know.
The alien thing still just kind of, that's going to be on my mind for the rest of the day now.
I was really hoping that we'd get like some nice Xenu type stuff, or maybe someday.